Hello, welcome to our new show, Magic Vlog with Travis and Eric.
I'm I'm
I'm
Eric.
and I'm Travis, of course, and we are at Q's Comics and Games at the new location in Dexter, Missouri. We, I tell you, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I think we've had magic just about every day of the week now.
Oh yeah. If it's not gaming, it's buying and selling.
Oh yeah.
Today, we are looking at a deck profile of mine that I actually came up with the idea for, and my friend Eric here helped me build up.
Yeah, we're calling it like Temur Energy Thopters kind of thing,
Yep,
and it actually turned out to be quite surprisingly strong. So
yeah, it's, although several times I have been known to get a little screwed on my draws. I mean, mostly the
that's
time I get mana flooded.
it's still three colors. You might have to work with the mana base a little bit. We got a lot of land search, so we might be able to trim out on one land or something like that.
Yep, but that's not important right now. What is important is the whole idea behind it. The original idea behind this was to find a way to just get out a bunch of creatures all at once, and usually that is kind of hard because of mana fixing.
But we did come up with the idea if you run one of each module and have one of mount, it's kind of an infinite combo. Given how much mana you have, you get a 1/1 servo that gives you energy, which gives you counters, which gives you more servos, and so forth.
By modules, we're talking about the decoction module, which every time a creature comes into play, you get one energy. The fabrication module, where every time an energy
Whenever you gain energy,
yep, you gain a +1/+1 counter on a target creature you control. And then animation module, every time a, a permanent of yours gets a +1/+1 counter on it, you can pay 1 mana and you get a servo. There's part of the infinite loop right there.
yep, once you get the animation module to trigger, then that triggers fabrication module, which triggers or decoction module, which triggers fabrication, and so on and so forth.
Yep.
But the
But
main combo,
yeah, I actually discovered this accidentally during a Skype uh, game with my girlfriend. I had gotten 3 copies of the decoction module out at one time. And this was a total accident, too. I mean, we never actually saw this combo happening originally.
yeah,
And until I actually mentioned it to you.
yep. And that's pretty much how the deck was born.
Yep.
Whirler
Whirler
Virtuoso.
Virtuoso. This card is really good. Not only does it give you 3 energy right whenever it comes into play, but if you pay 3 energy, you automatically get a Thopter token out.
So, three decoction modules, Thopter comes into play, you get that three energy right back. So, infinite Thopters.
Exactly. Plus, if you got 3 fabrication modules out at the same time, each decoction module will trigger a fabrication module separately. So basically, if you've got 3 decoction modules out and 3 fabrication modules out, that's 9 +1/+1 counters on the Thopter that comes in.
Giant infinite Thopters.
Bingo. But that is but the problem is you gotta have the energy out in order for this to work. But there's also another problem with it. Summoning sickness.
Sometimes that's a problem, but there's some cards in the format which can effectively give those Thopters haste.
One of my favorites to use, actually, is the Reckless Bushwhacker. Very, very nice card. It's normally a 3-drop, but thanks to the what was it?
Surge.
Yeah, back in the Battle for Zendikar set, I believe it was.
Oath of the Gatewatch.
Oh, that's Oath of the Gatewatch.
Yep.
Hmm.
If
But
you play a spell, it costs only 2, but when you cast it for the surge cost, all your creatures get haste and +1/+0.
which means that basically you got 11, 10 Thopters flying at your face right away. I tell you though, it is a little bit tough. But there are some ways, if you can't get your Whirler Virtuoso, no biggie. I mean, if you've got the decoction modules and the fabrication modules, there's tons of other ways you can get high power creatures. I mean, take for instance Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. She's got a nice little +1 ability on her. Yeah, you get a 0/1 plant token out.
So you're getting energy from all your decoction modules just from a lonely plant token.
And you get a 9-10 plant token off the bat.
Yep.
I that actually saved my butt a few times.
Yep. And there's another small little combo with Nissa, her -2, giving all your creatures +1/+1 counters, which triggers your animation modules.
Bingo! I was about to suggest that. But there's also another trick behind the modules, too. They've all got pay and tap abilities. Basically, with Decoction module, you can pay 4 mana and tap it and return a target creature you control to its owner's hand. So basically, if your opponent tries to burn out like the Whirler Virtuoso or something, you can just Decoction module it back to your hand.
Yeah, you can make some servos first and then bounce it.
Yeah, and then there's the Fabrication module. If you're having trouble getting energy from any means because you don't have any creatures that you can play from your hand while Decoction module is out, no problem. All you have to do is just pay 4 mana and tap the Fabrication module itself, and you get 1 energy.
Which also triggers itself, and you'll get a +1/+1 counter.
Which will in turn trigger this here for the loop.
Yep.
But then, Animation module is a really good card for this deck because I run Planeswalkers in this deck, it really helps out with the Planeswalkers. Because you pay 3 mana and tap the Animation module, you get a counter on target permanent or player, which in like things like Vintage or EDH that are running poison counters.
Yeah, modern stuff like that.
Yeah, but the fact is, you can use this to get an extra loyalty counter on your Planeswalker to save them, possibly, or to get their higher abilities activated.
Yep, we already showed you Nissa as one of our Planeswalkers. We kind of messed around with Chandra a little bit, but
too high of a cost. Too high of a cost for her.
Arlen Cord was another way to make creatures, but she turned out to be a tad bit slower than the other walkers. But we've been really impressed with Saheeli Ray.
Oh, yeah.
The +1 ability we're not using too much here, but scrying's kind of important. We are a combo deck of sorts.
And dealing in a little bit of burn damage. I mean, 1 damage could make the difference.
Yeah, he can hit other walkers with that 1 damage, I think, to each opponent. Yep. But the important thing is the -2. You can choose a creature or an artifact and make a copy of that, and that gains haste.
Which, if you use that with the other 3 fabrication modules, bring out another one, and basically you're getting 12 +1/+1 counters on a target creature at one time. But by that time, you should be winning.
Yeah. Our main thing is to get the triple decoction modules to go for the infinite Thopters.
But if you can get Saheeli Ray out and use her ultimate ability, then you could basically bring out those modules for the combo.
Yep, her ultimate -7, search your library for up to 3 target artifacts with different names. So we have all 3 modules, so right there you go.
Yep, but there's also another way that we can use Saheeli. It doesn't have to be just regular artifacts. The Gear Hulk.
Artifact creatures.
We got Gear Hulks. In this case, for this deck, it's the Torrential Gear Hulk, one of my favorites.
Yeah, we already have some good energy instance with Harness Lightning, a really good way to kill early creatures that are trying to kill you really fast, and then good old Glimmer of Genius. This deck likes to have extra cards, so casting 2 Glimmer of Geniuses for just 1 time of casting it, and then getting a free 5/6 flash out of the deal.
Exactly.
2 more cards, 2 more energy. Really keeps the deck going in the late game.
Exactly. And the thing is, I'm running 2 in my deck, which means better chances of drawing one.
Yep, been super impressed with Gear Hulk, of course. That's probably why it's the highest card in the set.
Yeah, and combine it with Decoction module, it's really stupid.
Oh yeah, returning it to your hand, not the funnest thing for your opponent to have to deal with there.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of value out of the 1 Gear Hulk.
Yeah, but the problem is you'd have to pay like 10 mana in order to use that combo on your opponent's turn, but...
Or if you get to untap with it, it is a 5/6, so it don't die too easily.
Yep. Plus, if you bring it in with the flash, you got the Decoction modules and Fabrication modules to give it a little boost.
Yep.
But another good card to use the Torrential Gear Hulk with, good old Rashmi, Eternity's Crafter.
Whenever you cast your first spell for each turn, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a non-land, card with converted mana cost less than the spell you casted, you may
You
cast it
without
paying
paying
its
the
mana
mana
cost.
cost. If not, it goes right into your hand. So if you use that on your opponent's turn, hey, more power to you. I mean, with the Torrential Gearhulk having a cost of 6, there's basically nothing in this deck that can't be casted off now.
Oh yeah.
Except for the lands and the other Gearhulk.
Yep, so that's the way for our deck to draw a lot of cards and get our combo going.
Yep, but another card that we actually experimented in this deck with is a rather tricky card to use. I mean, it's a good one-drop defender, or blocker, I should say, but keeping
We're
her
really
out...
using it for the abilities.
Yeah, but keeping her out is a little tough. Say hello to Ovia Pashiri, Sage Life Crafter. She's got a nice little ability, like if you can't get any creatures out by turn 3 or something, and she's already out, pay 2 colorless and 1, yeah, and tap her, you can create a 1/1 servo creature token out. But her main key, and you've seen this happen before several times, her ultimate power. Pay 5 instead and tap her, and you can create a construct token whose power and toughness is equal to the number of creatures you control. And that doesn't count itself.
Yeah. So this deck is almost all creatures. If you consider the planeswalkers, they pretty much make creatures, and the fabrication modules just giving out +1/+1s, and the animation modules giving you 1/1s.
But the problem is here that sometimes it's not enough. I mean, there are some creatures that you can't. Sometimes if you can't get to the bushwhackers, you run the risk of not being able to attack right away. But there is
still really good for blocking.
But for a sideboard, we decided on a little bit of a
kind of a way to give all those creatures haste of some sorts. They all are artifacts, the servos and the thopters. So
we've got a Reckless Fireweaver. This is one of my more favorite cards. This is like a replacement for the Impact Tremors that we lost.
Yeah, nice little card for 2 mana. You get a 1/3 off the bat, which already blocks pretty good.
Yeah, and but for every time an artifact comes into play, I mean, it even counts the modules too, and the Gearhulk.
Modules are Thopters off of Virtuoso, the servos off of Ovia.
And animation module.
Yep.
And the Torrential Gearhulk itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided to put 3 into my sideboard.
Yep, does 1 damage every time an artifact comes in. Sometimes you just accidentally win by burn damage.
Yep. I mean, if you get the Whirler Virtuoso out with that, forget it. Your opponent has no choice but to scoop.
And you can also redirect that damage to Planeswalkers, so you can pretty much keep any Planeswalker from ultimating as long as you got some plays.
Yeah. But it's also really good at 2-headed giant, though.
Oh yeah, each opponent means you get to do double the damage.
Or in this case, 6 times the damage.
Yeah, if you get awfully good amount.
Yeah.
With a little help from Saheeli Ray, you can get a bunch of copies out.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But then I also realized that there are cards like Declaration in Stone that target a creature.
Yeah, and there's lots of artifact removal and stuff like that, and our artifacts are pretty important to us. So.
And we've also got to worry about that Skywhaler shot, because that's a pretty nasty thing.
Yeah, we are pumping up our guys, so anytime we pump up a Virtuoso, you can get Skywhaler shot.
But I came up with a good idea that he didn't actually think of. Our good friend Padim here. Padim, Consul of Innovation. He's decent. A nice little 1/4 for 4.
Yeah,
but
another good blocker to help us get to our good, powerful late game.
But he gives all of our artifacts hexproof.
So no more destroying our modules.
Yep. Plus, at the beginning of upkeep, if you control the artifact with the highest converted mana cost or tied for the highest, you get to draw a card. Which we're not really worried about that.
Yeah, we're probably not drawing too many cards with it. I mean,
if we got the
module costs 3.
Gearhulk.
Gearhulk, yeah. If we're getting to Gearhulk, drawing more cards after that's going to be really good.
Yeah, trust me. Plus, combine that with Rashmi. We also did think of another creature that I didn't actually put into my sideboard. It's Jore Rui. The
Yeah, the little 2/3 for 3. It's one blue, one red, one colorless. Whenever you play your second spell for the turn, you get to draw a card.
Working that with Rashmi, basically you'd get 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, we got a lot of cheap cards in this deck. So we got lots of one drops. We got a bunch of 2s, a bunch of 3s. So we can start firing off cards pretty quickly as long as we don't hit a mana pocket.
And if you need a little more creature kill, I myself actually put in a couple of welding sparks into my sideboard.
Yeah, we got lots of artifacts, so that should do a good chunk of damage to those bigger creatures that Harness Lightning just can't quite kill.
If I remember correctly, there was actually a creature that said that if it's dealt damage, that it deals that damage to the controller as well.
Yeah, they usually have a card like that in Standard. I'm not sure which one it is this time around, but...
Well, I know it was in the Shadows over Innistrad block.
Okay, yeah, that probably sounds right.
But you never know whenever they're going to pull that out. And if you do see that, you might want to pop this on them. Because it will hurt. A lot. But then you can't play blue without a little bit of counter.
Of course not. You got to protect your combos. You got to protect your virtuosos, your walkers. So.
And what better way to do that than with Disappearing Act? Bounce your own creature and counter the target spell.
Yeah, almost all of our creatures have a come into play effect, so you get to redo all that goodness.
Especially the Sage, especially the Servant of the Conduit.
Yep, get a couple more energy, save them from a kill spell, all that good stuff.
Now, I will say this. If this originally started off as originally I was running a red-blue Thopters deck originally before Origins left us.
Yeah, Origins had almost all of our good blue and red Thopter stuff, so kind of can't run that deck anymore.
But we did kind of upgrade it just by adding the green to it.
Yeah, Weller Virtuoso in the modules is a great little combo. Might take a little bit of time to get all 3 of them going, and your opponent might have to not know what's going on to get hit by it. But
now, if you're running Jeskai instead of Temur, the Whirler Virtuoso decoction module thing will actually work well if you're running an Aetherflux Reservoir. All you need is Fumigate.
You can gain a bunch of life and
slam them with the life after you kill all the creatures on the battlefield. You gain 1 life out from it for every creature.
Yeah, if they're gonna destroy all the creatures on the board, you might as well do it and then try to kill them with the Aetherflux. Be a pretty funny combo.
But the problem with Fumigate is it's not an instant.
Yeah, you'd have to have 8 mana or untap with the Fabricate or with the Fumigate. And all your Infinite Thopters. But Infinite Thopters should get it done at that point.
But then again, therein lies the problem again. The Summoning Sickness.
Yeah, I mean, we're still running red if you run Jeskai, so you still got the Bushwhacker combo. You still got the 1 damage whenever an artifact comes in out of your sideboard.
Yep. But in any case, you just got to remember, you got to think of the synergy out of all of this.
Yeah, blue and red has enough. You can do it with just that, but I've been really impressed with the green. Nissa does everything the deck wants to do. Ovai has been super impressive.
And even Servant of the Conduit has been pretty good. I mean, it's been good for mana ramp.
Yep, Servant of the Conduit, get extra mana. We need tons of mana. Tune with the Ether, fixes our mana, gives us 2 energy, gets us started on all that.
Problem with that one is that it's not an instant.
It's a sorcery, but it only costs 1, so.
But there is
can't get too much better than that.
But we've also got a nice little vehicle in there, the Cultivator Caravan. It could tap for any mana.
Yep, fixes our mana and only crews for 3. And just
create a 5/5. I mean, just create a couple of Thopters and you got a nice little 5/5.
Yep, Whirler Virtuoso by himself is 3 power, so you can crew the 5/5.
He's a 2.
Yeah, but you got the Thopter that comes with it.
Oh, yeah.
That's a total of 3.
Oh.
And, of course, you got Nissa -2, making our army huge, so.
And then we've got Ovia creating the big guys.
Yep.
I mean, that's a really good setup for against cards like the Kozilek's Return, I think. The one that...
and does 2 damage to everything.
3.
And Kozilek's Return's only 2. Then does 5. If you cast an Eldrazi that costs 7 or more, you get to flash it back of sorts.
Oh, yeah.
For 5 damage.
Yeah, that card is really, really stupid, though. I mean, even you've pulled that on me a few times.
Yeah, I pretty much had to wipe the board several times because you can do the combo is as early as turn 4, usually turn 5 or 6, you get an infinite Thopters. So,
Yeah,
gotta have board wipes ready.
and then there's another problem as well. One card, a blue card, that you've used against me consistently to stop me from doing that.
Good old Crush of Tentacles, one of my favorite cards.
Not only that, but Vexing Scuttler too.
Yeah, that's a nice little combo that I've seen in some of the T-Merge decks floating around.
But it's a little too slow, though.
Yeah, it is really slow. You don't get Crush of Tentacles with Surge every turn like you used to with Den Protector, but it gets the job done.
Hey, at least it's not your infinite Raptor Jesus thing that you used to do.
Yeah, Den Protector and Deathmist Raptor were best friends for a while. We'll miss them.
This is coming from the guy that spent an hour with that deck back at Hour of the Dragon during the final match of one round.
Yeah, I didn't get touched though, so I was winning. No matter how much life he had, I still was at 20 the entire game. So
Yeah. I gotta say though, this deck, it turned out a lot better than I actually imagined it. I mean, I had a great idea here. I mean, I pulled out all these cards to show you, and you thought it was a good idea.
yep, you just told me if there's a deck that had all 3 modules in it, and I was like, well, we can build one, and we did, and it turned out to be really good.
It turned out way better than we expected. I mean, we didn't even think about this Whirler Virtuoso with the combo with the modules at all until I messaged you that one day.
Yeah, I knew about the combo with the Decoction module and Virtuoso, but I didn't know how realistic it was to have all 3 Decoction modules out to go infinite. But with the mention of Saheeli Ray, you could actually have up to 5 modules out if you really, really wanted to.
Yeah, but
So it's actually not that hard to get 3 Decoction modules out at the same time and go infinite.
Originally, I ran 3 or 4 Decoction modules, but we figured that was a little too much because we already had Saheeli anyway.
It is one of the more important cards for the combo, but now we've kind of transformed it to more of a mid-range.
And we were running 4 Servants of the Conduit, but we found that there were
it
too many.
It doesn't do anything except for make
energy
a little bit of mana.
Yeah. So we took out 1 Decoction module and a Servant of the Conduit for the Bushwhackers.
Yep, we got a bunch of creature tokens, so you can assemble a little army, play any random spell plus a Bushwhacker, and hit them for a bunch of damage out of nowhere.
And Rashmi really ties it together, too.
Yep, just 1 copy of her, but if you get to untap with her, then you're going to cast a bunch of cards, and some of them for free.
Yep. And the main thing to use with that is the Gear Hulk.
Yep, Gear Hulk, one of the best cards for control deck. We can be control if we really want to, with our burn spells and our card draw and our planeswalkers and our combo of the modules.
Yeah, but you gotta admit, so sometimes you just don't draw well.
And it's been the unfortunate thing for the deck. I think we just got a lot of tap lands in there, but we could probably upgrade those to maybe a full set of Ether Hubs and start getting some of the quick lands for it.
Yeah, which I've already got 3 quick lands already. 2 of the Spireside Bluffs or Spire Bluff Canals and what is it, the Verdant Sanctuary or something like that.
You could probably end up running 3 of each actually, because we need equal amounts of green and blue and red pretty much.
And unfortunately, I did have a full play set of the Wandering Fumaroles, the man lands, but I ended up selling those off because I couldn't really use them anymore in my old deck.
They're pretty slow in this deck too, so I would only run 2 if you really wanted man lands in there. There's not a whole lot of time to activate man lands. You got so many other creatures you're attacking with.
I wouldn't really, but I do already have things like the Game Trail and the the Mountain Forest.
Yeah, Cinderglade's alright because we're going to have some basics due to Attune the Ether and stuff like that.
And unfortunately,
with the Game Trail, we don't have a lot of actual forest and or mountains, so they come into play tapped a lot, so I think those are getting cut.
But I do actually have a few basic lands in there, which actually works out in our favor.
Yeah, we need something to search for Attune the Ether. It'd be pretty bad if we didn't have any basics and then cast that card.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I only run 1 basic mountain in this deck, but it works though, because I've already got a bunch of red anyway.
Yeah, we only need 1 for Virtuoso or Saheeli or Harness Lightning early, so.
And the Reckless Bushwhacker too.
Yeah, because Bushwhacker is more of a kind of a turn 5 play. After we play Virtuoso, we got 2 mana left over, which is perfect for the search cost.
But the main thing that we're getting here is that you need Virtuoso and the Decoction module and the Reckless Bushwhacker mostly.
If you need the haste, sometimes you just go Infinite Thopters, and what can they do on that except for wipe the board? But only a couple of colors can do that effectively.
You know, actually, one time I won with an opponent having that Ormendal out. The transformed Westvale Abbey.
Yeah, it doesn't have trample, so you can block it all day and then just make more Thopters than what he's gaining life. So
Exactly. Uh,
that Novaya construct tokens are going to be ginormous at that point too. So
and unfortunately, he is Ormendal cannot be destroyed, but he can be bounced and exiled. But my deck doesn't focus on mostly destroying. It's mostly about getting a big army out so much that they can't block. And most people don't remember this, but you can use Whirler Virtuoso's ability during your opponent's turn.
yep, instant speed. So if you just need a blocker, then you can make one during their turn, and
Or you could go infinite, and you can go infinite on your opponent's turn and just block multi-block all their creatures, killing them off. Bam, 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 bam.
Yep, if you got the infinite combo, you don't have to do it on your turn. You can, but I mean.
Plus, hey, no summoning sickness on your turn. You can just all out swing on your next turn.
Yep.
So, I gotta say, Eric, this deck really worked out way better than I thought it would be.
Yep. Tomorrow's Friday. We get to play it again, and maybe make some small improvements before the tournament and fix what the mana issues have been giving us fits.
Yeah.
But overall, the deck has been super good, and I've been impressed with it.
Yeah, even you've sweated a few times with it.
Oh yeah. If I didn't have all those board wipes, I would have lost a lot of games.
Yeah, especially that one time that you were using your new deck on me, that Cheerios deck or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah,
Crush the Tentacles on that one.
Mm-hmm. Love that card.
Although you did kind of bounce your Aether Hub Reservoir too, didn't you?
Yeah, but I get to replay all my stuff. The next turn, gain much life.
But the main thing is, you gotta be careful though, because if one thing that you really want to do, Whirler Virtuoso is really vulnerable to getting burned out by even the simplest red spell.
Yeah, only 3 toughness, so that leaves it right in the range of Harness Lightning and a lot of other spells that people are using to fight Copter also fight Virtuoso, and he's pretty important combo piece, so we just can't kind of throw him out there and only make like 2 Thopters. We got to make more Thopters than that to just run them out.
So my advice to you is get the fabrication modules out first.
Yep. You get 3 energy when you play the Virtuoso, which triggers the Fabrication module, which you can make your guy a 3/4 and dodge some of those removal spells that are aimed at Copter.
Yeah. Plus also, you could just make another Thopter right away, which would allow you to just,
Yeah, if they try to Harness Lightning in response to you giving it the 1/1, you can spend the 3 energy and do it again.
But only if the decoction modules are out, though.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, this combo here actually comes in handy against that stinking Kozilek's Return.
Yep.
Although I am a little sad to see that a bunch of our good stuff from Origins went out. One of my favorites that actually would have probably been good for this deck, the Mana Gorger.
Oh yeah, that card was a little bit gross.
I loved it though.
Oh yeah, would have been great this time around.
Well, I hope you'll join us next time for our next vlog. I mean,
I'm gonna try to do one of these every week. Maybe we'll cover one of my decks next week.
Yeah, maybe. And who knows? We might actually show off the week afterwards. We might actually show off one game.
Yep, if you like this deck, it's really, really good for F&M. Might take some practice to get down the when to play a module, when to play Virtuosos, when to combo, when to not.
And we've even seen this. There is no other deck online that has this setup at all. I mean, this is a totally original setup.
Yep, you can go all in with the combo and run 4 Virtuosos and 4 decoction modules, 2 or 3 Saheela Rays if you really, really, really just want the triple decoction module to go infinite.
Exactly. And even Rashmi can help out with getting out the modules for free too.
Yeah, if you get lucky and hit that as your top card. But
Yeah. But I'd say that's about it. I think we covered all the bases, didn't we? Which
yep, this deck's very customizable. You can swap out the numbers. You could even go more aggressive
which
with more Nissas.
which I think we should take out another Servant of the Conduit for in the future.
We could.
Because honestly, they're just way too many. I think.
Yeah, I think 3 is good for now. Maybe we'll trim it down to 2.
And come up with
The
a
mana's
replacement.
the mana's not that important. So
Because we've got way too much mana anyway.
yeah.
I think we overdid it on the mana base.
Yeah, I think quick lands will sort out a lot of problems. We could probably trim one.
Well, until next time, may you draw well.